What are we doing? What are we doing today? Okay, I'm back at it. Son of a gun. Fair warned, there's gonna be some F-bombs. There always is. Someone even suggested, I don't know, yesterday when I was doing a ribbon mic, I'm not even lying, my Topo Chico bottle, the wet right there, somehow caught the lip of the ribbon. It pulled out. It was just terrible. I didn't do that on purpose. Oh, speaking of my Topo Chico, it is a different color. Only because one of my favorite soda pops is the sugar cane black cherry soda pop. It's really sweet. So I drank about half of my Topo Chico and I basically dropped that bottle in there. So I have kind of like a cocktail, just sugar cane Topo Chico. I'm taking a drink. So if you watch me here, you know I do some really cool, weird mics. And I wanted to share a mic that I really love. This is one of the first mics I worked on. I know you see me talking about MXLs. This is an MXL R40, not a 144. You can't buy these anymore new because they don't make them. They've been discontinued a long time. These mics sound really good, and these are even easier on the used market to get them for 20 bucks, 40 bucks. I mean, my last one was one of the best ribbons under $100. But this changes because this is obviously a used one. A homie down in Texas had 3 of these. So he sent 3 of these for me to put a new ribbon in it. So I thought I'd at least let you check out. Now, I know I talk about the R144, which is totally brand new. You can go to Sweetwater and buy it. This one is something where some people don't hunt for mics. And the reason I do the Sweetwater is people can go right now. In my description is all my information. Contact me first. Get my P.O. box. And then what you do is you go to Sweetwater and you buy one of these for 99 bucks. And then for $250 on my end, I upgrade it to make it sound like somewhere between a $700 to $1,200 ribbon mic because of the quality of the ribbon I put in. And I do make sure everything else is fine with the mic. So even then, you get into a ribbon mic. Well. Parker, what's up? And you get into a ribbon mic way cheap. Now, this is a different thing because I try to tell people to go to Sweetwater to have me work on the mics because it's super easy. You just go online, you order it, you send it to my P.O. box. I can upgrade it. And my upgrade in the ribbon mic still comes well under par of anything that's a high quality ribbon. But if you look at the history of MXL, this is one of the first mics I worked on because at the time they didn't have the R144 out. So when I started doing my first early ribbon mics, this is the one. I'm positive Facebook Marketplace, eBay, wherever you look, these should be sold for close to nothing because they're not, and they're off every radar. I don't hear anyone talk about how cool these mics are. I'm telling you, these are amazing mics. And the only reason I rarely talk about these because the ones I had, I've already sold. And most people now, they go into Sweetwater and like I said, they buy the new ones. So we're going to open up this old one and I'm going to change the ribbon. Hello, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. I know last time I said, my wife got mad at me because I say a bunch of F-bombs, but what can I do if I just say fucking shit? You know, I just did it. There's the first one. I mentioned that I got my Topo Chico, but it's a different color. Usually it's clear, but there's this really boutique black cherry soda that is just amazing, made with sugar cane. It's super sweet. So I drank half of my Topo Chico and then I spiked it with some black cherry soda, which is just, I'm asking for trouble. It's a lot of sugar. I should have a coffee. And like I said, anything you see here, if you really dig it, in the below the description, you can send me a coffee. You just go on there and you know, I don't ask for any more than that because if you like what you're seeing here, maybe you can use it as being educational. you guys hooking me up with a coffee. It permits me to get in here every day or every month and do really cool content. And my goal would be to have you maybe buy some microphones like this and either show you how to do the ribbons. You can replace them yourself. But if you're a semi-pro or pro studio and you really want a good ribbon and you don't want to spend $1,200 or $900, even $700 for really good, I would say if you want an R84, maybe the used market is like, I know, blood sugar spike, Jesus, right? If you on the used market to find a good quality ribbon is really difficult. Buyers are the only ones you can kind of get under 500 bucks, but buyers are the worst mics for the ribbon. You can't tell they're damaged because most of them are because they put them up on cabinets. If they're used, I don't recommend buying a buyer used unless it's coming from a reliable source, like one of your homies is selling one. Now, me, I would buy a buyer because I repair them. So when I buy a buyer microphone, I'm a little bit more fearless because I know I could repair it if the ribbon was torn. And there's 2 ribbons in that one. So we're doing this RD4. I mean, an R40. This is one of the earliest MXLs of ribbons. Now, if I remember right, I haven't undone this one. You can even see the red is still, I think it's still virgin. Well, that red is off the dot, but I haven't opened this up and haven't even measured it. This one that I had done a while ago was, hey, what's up, Warheart Arts? This one, International Scout, let's see. I heard one of your pledges. What? I don't know what he's talking about, but anyways, this microphone, sometimes the gap was massive. I mean, I think regularly the R144s go between 5 millimeters up to even 550, which I have no idea why some of them are more than others. If I remember right, these ones were always like 520 millimeters, 530, 540, and that was the gap between the ribbon, which means it's a large ribbon. I know, I'm making time machines. I wish this is kind of a time machine right here. It's not like this is, you're not going to hear any big studio guy talk about these. But a cool story is the R144 is the last ones that you saw before Steve Albini had passed away. And if you don't know who Steve is, he's one of the most legendary punk rock indie engineers. And people would say a producer, but he never liked to be called a producer. He was a dear friend, and I love Steve. And before he passed away, he got 2 R144s, the ones that I just showed even yesterday. And he was so nice because he said him and Kim Deal had used it on her last recording. And Kim has one as well. I sent one to Kim Deal. And I'm just really honored to be able to do these microphones. And Greg Norman, the guy that he's the head engineer at Electrical Audio, he sent me a picture with one of my R144s in front of the drum set. And he says, man, this sounds really great. So these are guys that are the guys and the gals, because Kim Deal is really awesome. And they really love the work that I did, and they love the ribbon mic. So when I offer this to you, and I'm just saying, hey, it's not like this is a quick money scheme. Me doing these mics for a few $100, if you saw me do these, it takes me hours and hours and hours sometimes to do one mic. I do these because I love them. I think I'm not one of those guys that's going to make a tube microphone. I just happen to find, like, you know, like the dog whisperer. I'm like a ribbon guy whisperer. I can look at a ribbon. Even when I go to install it, something tells me that's not the way. I flip it around backwards. Now I like it. I can't tell you what it is except when I load a ribbon in, I'm like, that looks fucking good. That's my second F-bomb. And I look at it and it usually is really good. Now, when you see me struggling and putting it left, right, left, right, left, right, I'm just a perfectionist. So if I'm going to do a mic, I know that ribbon mics sound good when the ribbon is cut closest to the magnet. I know it sounds good when it's high quality aluminum. And I guarantee you when I open this, it's going to be like a hammock inside, or it's going to look weird, or it's just not going to be the highest quality. But that's not MXL's fault. When they made these in China, they're just looking to get this into the market and put this in the hands of people that can't afford to pay thousands of dollars, up to $5,000 for a really good ribbon. These are sold at the time, I'm sure, for $49.99. You can get an MXL at Sweetwater for $99. And I think if you get the deluxe version, maybe it comes with a cool case for like 150 or 200. I'm not sure. But these are really great. Let's see. Sound examples coming with Royers and buyers. Well, on all honesty, man, I've used both of those. I'm a huge fan of buyers because I've re-ribboned all buyers 130s, 260s, 500s, and buyer 160s. Buyer 160s are the only ones with 2 ribbons in them. And there is some modifications that you have to do the other buyer mics, but I love them. They're tools of the trade and you can find them and they're amazing. Royers, it's a mixed bag on those. My influence of Royer is I think I make my ribbon very close to what Royer would do. I remember early on when I was learning how to do this, I was really amazed on Royer's corrugations. And I felt like if I wanted to do a mic that had longevity and was strong, I had to get close to Royers. Their corrugating machines cost thousands of dollars. The space age metals and done. I had to make mine out of plastic. But I understand now the theory of that. So once again, this is an R40, which is not, you see me talk, even yesterday I had the R144. I can offer those to people to buy them. These ones, you got to find them on the used market, but you will get them for close to nothing. And as long as you can see a ribbon in there, or even if the ribbon was blown out, and as long as that's the only thing wrong with it, I can fix it. So let's open this up and let's see what the gap is. If you see my knees in here, I am wearing shorts. I'm not just standing here in my chonies, just to let you know. I know I said to put the disclaimer, but people are weird. They see my knees bouncing around. Like, Manny, what are you doing? I've already shared my Topo Chico. Have you ever bought a mic on eBay? It might have been mine. I've sold some vintage pieces over the years. You know, if it was a buyer 160, I've also RCA paintbrushes. I love those. Maybe you're the one I bought a few paintbrushes from. Those are another sleeper. I have 2, but they're not here. They're in storage. But RCA paintbrushes, which are called SK46s, are goddamn beautiful mics. I don't think goddamn counts as an F-bomb, but it's close. All right, so I just removed 2 screws from the bottom. Almost all these are done that way. I put this little mat down to cast the screws, and I just lost the screw. Did I put one back? Yeah, I put one in there. Well, let's see what we got here. Okay, looking at this, once again, I haven't even opened this mic, and always you get these mics. And let's see, an R40 for 100 on eBay. Honestly, if you want to send it to me, I would pay it because I think these were kind of the first ones they made and they just got a sound. These are a little bit darker than the newest ones, probably because of the transformer, but they sound even more vintage and more cool. So we're going to open up this one because I'm going to show you even fatheads. If you guys have fatheads, you know, they cost a lot of money. They still come with the same ribbons like this. So you can buy a fathead with a Lundell in there. That's like buying a Shelby Mustang and then putting terrible tires on it. It's going to sound terrible because, I mean, it's going to drive terrible and it won't stay on the track because you have terrible tires on it. Well, ribbons are the same way. You can have an amazing mic that's has a great transformer, but all you're doing is making a loud, bad microphone. And I'm not talking shit about fatheads. I think they're some of the best ribbons you can get out there. But in the ribbon department, fatheads go between $250 and $350. Why aren't those $750, $800, $1,200, $1,400? Because they make these to be great and they put these in the hands of people that are enthusiasts. But they're not going to spend the time and the money in the ribbon department. And every single ribbon department of Royer, Bayer, AEA, serious fucking work. All right, there's 3 F-bombs. So you just have to, you know, I explained to it yesterday when I did a live video. You have to understand that in the ribbon market, you get a lot of mics under $250. These ones happen to be under $100, and MXLs are literally $99 right now at Sweetwater. That's the market for the introduction to using ribbon mics. There's a lot of guys that have computer systems and they've never used ribbon mics, and they're getting condensers. The drums sound like shit. And you put a ribbon mic up on your drum set and you're like, holy fuck. All right, there's 4 F-bombs. Holy fuck, this sounds amazing, but it's an R140 that's not been upgraded by me, but it still sounds killer. Well, that just tells you that ribbons in general, blown, sagging, not tuned, rock. Now, you can also say like, hey man, I'm getting this great sound for $50. F Manny, why do I need to do that? Well, if you're a serious recording dude like me, when I go to mix a band, especially I'm tracking a band, I'm trying to get the best capturing of a band, a guitar, bass, drums at that moment. You can only get that from a better quality microphone. And so I'm removing these little screens. Now you can see this. That's the way most Chinese mics, it doesn't matter. I don't care if you're showing me a fat head. Golden Age would probably be a little bit better. I did a kit mic a few days ago called a Bumblebee. That one had a high quality ribbon, and the only reason I'm replacing that ribbon is like that one has distortion in the middle. Those two had distortion in the middle. So when I replaced them, the mic sounded even better. So this is, if you bought one, what it would look like. And if you don't know what you're looking at, this foil in the middle is what I'm going to be replacing. And those lines are called the corrugation. If you can see how it's kind of like sagging in the middle of that ribbon, that is a big no-no. The best ribbons in the world, like AEA and Royers, is in the middle. Perfect. And it's tensioned right, where if it's too tight, you're not going to get a lot of low end. If it's too loose, it's going to sound boomy and you're going to miss some top end. So there is an art to getting this right, and that's what I do. I know, right? Someone's keeping track of my F-bombs. That'd be fake if they call it an R40. I know. But like I said, they don't make these anymore. And this makes it easier for someone like you. And like I said, if you're like, screw Manny, why do I need to pay him some money to upgrade this one? I'm just going to do it myself. These are candidates. Go ahead and buy one. Go online, buy some aluminum foil, learn how to cut it, learn how to make it fit in this microphone, and you are then in the money for upgrading it yourself. And if you're going to buy it, let's say if you're going to buy a ribbon kit, it's still going to cost you $150 to buy the ribbon, the foil, maybe even $200 for everything. So if you're into learning how to do this, watch any of my videos, and I'm sure I explain enough that you can learn a little bit of the ins and outs. But even on the back side, that looks really bad. So if you saw me, I opened it up. This is not like me preempting it with learning about this microphone and then showing you on Mr. Genius. I could totally fuck this up, and I may have to work on, okay, there's another one, that's 5. I could totally have a tough time putting the ribbon in this, and that's it. It's just, there's no guarantee. There's no guarantee I have enough skill set to say, like, I'm definitely going to get this ribbon in there. But one and done, I can only hope. And so far, my track record is pretty good. But a few days ago, I was doing a ribbon I was way overconfident in doing. And I ended up having to, not only, I think I re-ribboned it 3 times. Some of the error was on me. Some of the error was on how the microphone was built. It was really difficult to get access to the ribbon, and then not only that, to replace the ribbon. And then once the ribbon was locked in, these bolts were on the back of the mic that the plate would not lock in. So I think that kit, it was a Bumblebee. That kit was made not to be serviced. They just put it together so it worked. It was high quality ribbon, a well-made microphone. But I think when people buy those kit mics, if you blow the mic, you just go on the Bumblebee website. I'm sure it's like $150 or something, and you buy this part of the mic. Already has a ribbon in it, and then you install it back in your mic, and there you go. But the point is, I'm a producer, and this is what I do. Golden Age, actually, here's the thing. If you can get a golden age, I love those. But every golden age I've ever done, the polarity is reversed. So if it says golden age right here, this is opposite. Positive is on this side, negative. So if you put them as an overhead and it says golden age and then this is over the drummer, the polarity is, you're going to have to flip it and make sure you check the polarity because they've always, I don't know why. I did 4 of them and they were all polarity switched. But I maybe where it says golden age is not the front. Maybe that's the back. But that's what I ran to. But golden age are great candidates because once again, great microphone. The ribbons always suffer. Now, I've grown to appreciate Chinese mics. And the only reason I can maybe appreciate them more now than I ever have, because initially I was like, F that, get them AEA, Reuters, they're all made in California. But the truth is, now, maybe I'm talking to you, you may not want to spend $1,000 on a Royer, and you want to buy a Chinese mic. Here's a funny little ditty. This head basket, you cannot make this in the United States. You can, but if I wanted 100 of these made, 1,000 of these made, it could be $30,000-$40,000 to tool up, or maybe even more to get a company that would be able to make this. And because I'm making my own ribbon mic right now, and right now it looks like I'm making it 100% California, except the magnets, which I don't, unless I can source them out in the United States. I ran into this issue because one of the best machine shops in California, something like this is impossible for them. But you can send this to China and you can do it. I'm a low budget guy too. Warhart mentioned that he's a low budget guy. Low budget isn't necessarily a bad thing. I'm showing you something right now that you can buy for 40, 50, 100 bucks on eBay. You can send it to me. I'll upgrade it, and you will have a mic that sounds like any $700, $800, up to $1,200 ribbon mic because it's in the quality of the cut. And that's what I've spent maybe close to 4 years doing. All right, all this talking. Let's get my Topo Chico in there. If you want to help me out, the only person that can't buy me a coffee is Shannon. And don't get all crazy. Shannon's a guy. He always buys me a coffee. Shannon, you can't buy me a coffee if you tune in. But anyone else, under the thank you or under the description, you can hit thank you and you can buy me a coffee or a Topo Chico. It's like that. It's not going to happen. Even this, my monetizing of doing these, I'm looking to make $100 a month, but I still appreciate that. And you all watching this helps me achieve that. What can that do, man? That gets me water, cans of tuna. I'm a struggling artist. I'm almost 60 years old, and this is what I've been doing for about 30 years. That Topo Chico water, if someone buys me water, really keeps me alive. Another thing, I'll be honest with everyone here, I'm a two-income family. To be an artist living in Southern California, thank God I'm married. Thank God I have a wife who works, and I'm able then to be an artist on a Saturday night. I'm not doing anything except sharing, working on a ribbon mic for you all. And it's just because I love to do it. So if I wake up every day, I have I make my Don Francisco cup of espresso, and it fuels me for the day. I don't drink. I haven't gotten drunk since 2008. I don't do drugs. I do black cherry sugarcane soda and spike it in my Topo Chico. But that's as crazy as I'm going to get. I want to be doing this for a while. And I want to be able to get up early in the morning and be excited to come in. I have a lot of ribbon mics. I have about I think about 7 mics. I've got to be. So the reason I'm doing videos kind of every day is I'm just kind of not only trying to hit people to this, but it keeps me in practice. I really love doing this. Let me see here. Mr. Johnson. For crimper recommendations the other day, I got one that looks like yours on Amazon, and it's looking much better than the one. Yeah. You know what? These, I had a bunch of them. What I love about this one is the one I'm using, is I just put it in my vice clamp, and it's really easy to use. Now, I changed the cogs in these ones. I made these two out of some other parts because I was, after a while of looking for ribbons, I wanted to get kind of a finer ribbon, but teeth in the ribbon. I feel like that has something to do with mids and highs and some low end being tight. And so I pursued my ribbon. I have a bunch of them, man. I have the cogs, metal, plastic, some custom ones. And when I do ribbons like this, I'm just using the set that I feel the most comfortable with and I think sound good. When I make my own ribbon mic, I am going to have to take some time and make one that's going to be made out of possibly aluminum or metal or stainless steel or whatever I'm going to make them out of. It's going to have to be something that's going to last and work if I'm going to make ribbon mics. But for right now, that's the one that I really like. And I changed the cogs in it because there's two sets of them. These ones have big teeth and it was okay. I can't remember why I didn't like. I think I know what it was. The one on this side, it just didn't seem like it was even or straight. I don't know what was it. So I replaced them and I'm happy. But you just have to use them. There's all kinds. Some that sound more vintage than not. But once again, on the topic of Chinese mics, you can get this made in the US pretty easy. But having a CNC machine make these and having the head baskets made, that's where you're going to run into a lot of money. So the fact that they've already set this up in China and you can get this done and you can then utilize it if you're on a budget, that's what I really love about and why I'm showing you an R40. So this is an MXL mic. I'm getting into it. Holy smokes, I need another shot at Topo Chico. Hold on. If you watched any of these I'm not even lying. You've seen some crazy stuff happen with the ribbons while I've been handling them. That's just what happens all the time, but you actually caught me on film. If this Topo Chico's like when you hear a guy light up a joint. I don't smoke either. I have nothing against it. Marijuana has never been something in my DNA that I like. Okay, so this ribbon, oh shit, my battery on my phone says it's dying. Hold on 1 second. Hold that thought. Woo! Sorry. And like I said, to the left or right, it's just stuff I need to make ribbon mics. So I'm putting the iPhone adapter in this. Sorry about that. I'm obviously just winging this. Let me get this straight in here. Sorry about that again for the non-professional YouTuber here. I actually don't give a fuck about that. I've done really crazy heavy videos. I used to produce like a pro. I still have a great camera. I still have a lavalier. I still have plans of, I'm going to be doing something with Audioscape coming up and profiling some EQs and maybe some compressors of theirs that they've been upgrading and stuff. And I can't wait to do that. And I've done a lot of videos where I do a real serious camera setup. I love this, that I could just come on a Saturday night, put my phone on a little fucking camera pod. There's the F-bomb. That was 6. And do a video. And maybe people like it. Maybe people don't. I guess that's the freedom of choice. You can zoom out and log out and watch something. Do you have any tips for a newbie attempting to tension ribbons for the first time? I know the main goal is to tune the ribbon for resonate bass response and beyond it. You know, when I first started doing this, there was a big like, oh, watch out, tuning and all this stuff. In all honesty, it has to be through experience and feel. You got to re-ribbon a mic yourself. You have to listen to that mic and go, okay, this is what I'm hearing. And then you look at the tension, you blow in it, like, this mic is terrible tension. This is worthless. If you want to have a starting point, that's a no-no. So what I'm looking for in this mic is to have the tension have the ribbon cut as close as I can to the magnets, having the tension be where you blow on it and it kind of moves and it flexes. That's the low end. If it's too tight and you lose the corrugation, it's not going to sound good. So you have to, through experience, learn what you're looking at and also what do you like. And because of the style of music I do, that's punk and heavy, my ribbon corrugation and the way I make the ribbons is more for endurance, more for lasting. I use a thicker ribbon. My ribbon is closer to a Royer's ribbon, but I put them inside full-bodied microphones, and that's the difference, because Royers aren't, or it's a different type of a body that has a different type of a sound. So you just have to kind of find the niche of what you want, and then you have to practice and learn. When you see me work on this, I am gonna fuck up. I already did it again. I'm not even doing it on purpose. I say the F word. I'm gonna fuck up somewhere. And if you watch my videos, but then you always see me come back and land on my feet because I've worked enough with this, and I've saved some really bad situations where ribbon foil is expensive. I don't have time to come in here and just go through. I have some ribbon over there that were full sheets. I'm running out. I don't have time to really just waste your time. This is really someone that sent me 3 R40s. They wanted to get done. They're trusting me. My upgrades are $250 a mic. And if you get my P.O. box, you can send it to me. And if you're in the United States, I will ship the mic back to you for $250 a mic. I will cover the insurance of the mic. I will cover the insurance of the upgrade. And I will send it back to you. If anything happens, at least you're covered. If you live outside the United States and you're seeing this, it's usually between $70 and maybe $100, depending on customs where you send it. Canada is getting expensive, and so is Europe. I've sent stuff to Australia. It's a little bit expensive, especially insurance is sometimes a little tricky with that. But I have done them. I've done a lot of Canadian peeps. And at this point, I have lost track of how many of these mics I've upgraded. But I'll just say, like, easily, maybe 200, maybe 300 mics more. I don't know. Anyways, let's get to this. You got me, I'll talk forever about shit like that. All right, give me a drink. Hold on. Give me a drink. I'm taking a drink. Sugarcane black soda split with the Topo Chico is just like, oh man, it's like, brings me back to when I was a kid. All right, enough of that kiddo stuff. I have a light above here, so if you see me moving it around, I'm gonna move this camera up just a hair. I have a screwdriver that, give me a second here, fix the light. These are the lights that you can get over at like Harbor Freight. And I have another light off to the side because I like to get a shot coming down on the mic. And then because I have a screwdriver coming in like that, I just want to sometimes bring a light on the side of it so I can actually see what I'm doing. When I do a mic like this and I'm filming it, the camera's right in front of my face. And so it's kind of like I made the analogy of it's kind of like working on your car from the trunk. So if you see me do, and maybe this is why I'm having more errors than not, because I'm kind of working around, I'm looking at the camera, but then when I really got to get into it, I'm having a side shot. When I'm usually working this, my head is where your camera is. So, and if you see my knees, I'm wearing shorts. I didn't say what kind of shorts, but I'm wearing shorts. Alrighty. And this is you always see me doing R44s. This is an R40. It's one of the oldest of the MXLs. And I gotta say, man, goddamn cheap. You can buy these. I can upgrade these. If you can get these for like $40 or $50 and buy 2 of them, you're in the money. Because these are going to sound like $1 million. Or I should say $900 to $1,200. So I'm really familiar with these mics now. There's nothing really that scary about working with them except locking in the ribbon, which is going to be always the scenario. I know some of the best ribbon guys in the country, and every now and then I write them and go, dude, Kohl's, I have to fucking make 5 ribbons for Kohl's because it's so fucking hard to put the ribbon in. It's really like nerve-wracking, And they've told me the same thing. It takes them the same. So I felt a little bit better because I'm usually one and done. I can really luck out with once I cut a ribbon, I only have to cut one and put it in. But Kohl's, now I'm like, I'll make 6 because this ribbon is 2.5. I'll be putting in. Kohl's is 0.6. 2.5. Kohl's is 0.6. It's like cutting air. And handling this is already nerve-wracking. To handle like something that like when I'm working with it, it's like floating around my hand as I'm installing it. It's insane. Why did the British want to do that to me? I don't know, but Kohl's are some of the most prestigious and expensive microphones you can buy. Next to like next to RCA 44s. Then you're talking 4,500 to 7,000. And those are just big ribbons. They're just big ribbons, big transformers, big sounds. I'm not complaining. I'm not going to throw an RCA 44 out of bed, that's for sure. Chinese mics. I will say this. SE Voodoos, the first ones and 2s, rocking mics. And I've changed the corrugation in those because a friend of mine blew them. The corrugation is totally pro. I will say that SE microphones, next to a lot of other microphones, they definitely try to kind of up their game. Let's see if someone says something. Mr. Johnson, have you ever wrapped your own transformers? You know what? I was going to start doing that, but I ended up falling in love with a lot of these mics already. And here's a little thing that I'm hoping, I don't want to say it yet. Our transformers that I'm getting from my own ribbon mic are going to be made in Southern California. I can't tell you who's going to do it yet. It's not the normal Joes that you would know, but it's probably one of the most wicked pro audio companies. And one of the homies there has a winding machine, and he's going to help me. So, well, that comes out. But my ribbons that I'll be using will probably look a little bit more like the hand-wound ones because it's a different type of a ribbon. When you get Lundells and you get Cinemags, they're in these chrome. I mean, they're totally pro, and they're really. I love Lundells, but for right now, I'm not that interested. I do want to get some pro transformers made, but I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole to make. That's like me saying I want to wind my own guitar pickups. I'm just not interested in that. But if you are, let me know. Maybe send me a transformer. Maybe you'll be the guy that will use your transformers. But if you can do it, dude, I have nothing against. I love things like that because it's kind of the lost art of, making your own transformer is really cool. The only thing that you have to really be accurate in is your windings. And I know that for a fact. You have to, like, if you watch when people do vintage guitar pickups, which I've watched those, it's nerve-wracking the way they have to wind them, and that's just not my deal. Holy cows, Batman. We're really doing this live, huh? So I'm going to take this off. Now, if this is a really old one, I complain about new ones that the ribbons are weird. It's been a long time since I've done a 40, so I don't remember if these are really weird ribbons. We'll find out right now. Let's see here. Let's see if I can talk to this ribbon. You know, I will say I think this is good because usually when you get an old mic like this, sometimes the ribbons are oxidized and they're weird. It's almost like they're rusty, it's not pure aluminum. It was something else and it was starting to corrode. This seems pretty good. So maybe when these first came in, they used a pretty good aluminum. That actually looks like it's really good, which is interesting. Because there was a moment when I would get some MXLs 144s and the ribbons were weird. They were like plastic. I think this is good aluminum. It was, I should say, rest in peace. I would never get one of these mics and recorrugate it with the same ribbon. The ribbon I get is from, I think it's Japan. And it's really, really good. And even though I could probably get that, I'm still a little suspicious about the way it feels. And I don't know if that's because it's too thin or it's something else that maybe is not aluminum. And I just would rather, if I'm going to make an offer to someone to help them out, I want it to be great. I would definitely, yeah, check out in my descriptions. I put my email, I put all my social media accounts. Candidates for getting re-ribbons. That mics that, and I'm not doing this because I'm just trying to make money. I'm just telling you, these are the mics that I love the way they sound. Nady ribbons are insane good. RSM4s, which are the round lollipops. RSM5s, which kind of look like an egg. Insane good mics. MXL R40s is this one. MXL R44s, which is this one. Fatheads, super. Those are some of my favorite. If you can get a fathead, those are great. Once again, all these mics have terribly installed ribbons that once you fix them, they are good to go. Fatheads are unreal. Golden Age are unreal. I just did some Bumblebee kits, high quality kit. Sounds insane good. So yeah, the ribbon matters. So I have a feeling that looks like a pretty massive gap. And that's why I love these 40s. That's either going to be more than 5.5. I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe it's 5.25. But I think this is going to be pretty exciting. I'm hoping that it's like 5.5 or more. I can't tell, but that looks pretty fucking big. I did it. It's like 8 F-bombs I've done today. Okay, so let's check this out. Always a little tough. I don't want to scrape or break the magnets, but I got to get it in there. Oh, son of a bitch. It's like, that's still pretty good. Look at this. Don't. Thingamajig keeps on resetting. I think it's time to get a new battery for this. Quiet when I get all serious. I mean, that's strong. All right. Millimeters. Maybe 510. Let's do this again. I'd rather do it about 3 or 4 times and then just kind of round it off. It's not that big of a deal. Looks like it's a little bit closer here. It is there. Let me double check this. Hold on. I'm not trying to do any, like, you know, stuff here. I'm just really trying to get this measured. That magnet just slams it into there. Make sure. Looks like we're averaging about 510. Sorry about this. I know I'm doing this live on the spot, but I do got to get this right. I got the camera in front of me and I can't just look straight down on this. Son of a gun. Come on. I need a shot of my Topo Chico, and this is not helping me. $514. Sorry, I'm just having the biggest time trying to get this. 512. It looks like it's like 512, and then the other side is 14. But let me double check it. Hold on. No fucking around here. I gotta get this right. I want to say it's 10. Whew. All right. It's not going to be that big of a deal. But we have to now put a ribbon in there. So that's 510, which is still pretty good. When you get these microphones, the inconsistency in the gap and in the construction is what the difference is between a $100 mic and a $1,400 mic and a $5,500 mic. If I had like 100 Buyer 160s made in the same batch coming out of the factory, I could probably measure one and I could do them all. And I have no issues because I'm sure they come out of the factory consistently the same. Same with like Royer and same with AEA. But when you get these mics from China, I think the inconsistency in this gap is the thickness of the magnets. Someone mentioned possibly the glue. And then these transducers, I don't know if they're cut by hand or a CC machine. They're always different. So when I get R144s, they go from 490 in millimeters, 4.9 millimeters, and then 5 millimeters, 510, 520, 525, up to 550. And it's shocking. But I don't know because I don't make these and I just get them and I don't know. When you see me clean the whole thing with alcohol, is because I'm going to put retape on this, and the glue that's still a little bit there, cleaning this surface, make sure that when I retape this, it's going to last a good amount of time because I don't want that tape to come off. And when you see me put the alcohol and then I rub it down the magnets here, I would not do this before I put the ribbon in because I do not want the ribbon to get somehow caught to the side. But there is little metal particles that could get in the way of ruining the ribbon. And I just have to make sure that because out of the factory or when I took off the head basket, these, you saw my little calipers or measuring tool, it just locks in there really hard. And even this, like, I mean, it's, you just hang it. I mean, my screwdriver is just hanging from the side. It's really strong magnetic force. So these are good magnets. It's a good microphone. I do like the transformers in these. I don't know what's inside. I used to, did I ever take a transformer out? I don't think I have. But whatever they did, it sounds good. Okay. We are going to get the ribbon out. So these sheets, I've made them. These are out of a massive big sheet of aluminum. And you can't really work on those big sheets because I think I let you know in another video yesterday that I had a big sheet of the foil that I use for coals. And by opening up the big sheet, it disintegrated half of it right in front of my eyes. It was like $100 sheet, just half of it ruined. So I have to cut these down into smaller increments so I can work with them. So let's say I accidentally ruin this one. I have 4 more sheets like this because I got one big sheet, cut it down to 4, and I'm working on this sheet. So it's a little bit, or if I was to drop this and step on it and ruin it, I'm not really screwing myself. Because if I had a big sheet and I did that, oh, I'd be totally bummed out. I'd be weeping. Okay, one more Topo Chico. Hold on. You know what's interesting? These questions that people give me on the live, when it ends up going up to my YouTube, I can't see these questions anymore. So I got to read them. So I apologize if you see me do that. Since you use it. So, oh, Shannon. What's up, Shannon? Shannon, you can't buy me a coffee. Don't do it. Let's see. Since you use the same compass, you have counted the number of corrugations between the top of them. You know what? I've actually never counted those. I'm just, once again, I'm like Mojo. I just looked at it and I cut a few pieces of foil with it. I'm like, I like that. So maybe I should scan it and see what I like about it. But for right now, it was just strictly, I went in a pile of, there's a place in Los Angeles called Apex. It's like a junkyard for equipment and really cool movie props and stuff. And that's where I got them from. And I don't have any reference of what the part came out of, so I can't say if I wanted to go find another one. I don't think I would. But yeah, that's where I kind of accidentally got them. Let's see, hold on 1 second. Hold that thought. Hold that thought, everyone. Here. I mean, honestly, if you're watching these videos, this is like you're taking a poop or something, you know. Nothing's gonna happen here that's crazy. Except me doing these live videos where I just go, why in the fuck did I do this live video? And I'm gonna screw up in front of everyone. Great. All right, so I'm gonna just, so what I do is I just get them and I do a bunch of cuts. I mean, a bunch of marks. And then I'm just gonna kind of average it out. Like every time I do this stuff, it's better to measure twice than to measure it once and just do it. So I'm just gonna do a bunch of spots along the edge. I'm moving this because this little tail just ends up driving me crazy. It gets stuck in something. That's where I just start cussing at myself. Understand, hold on. All right. That's enough. This foolish measuring. Okay. I have my shot glass with sharp razor blades. The ones that are dull, I put little marks on them that I've used them, and the ones that don't have any marks, those are primo. I'm hoping this one will work. Oop. Okay, hold on a second. So we're gonna cut this. Actually, this is one that has an X on it. That's a no-no. I put X's on them just to show me that I don't want an X on them. This one is a good one. I've got my little box of razor blades, so if I run out, I'll just grab another one. Please don't stop doing these videos. These are a little content out there. Thank you. You know, I'm going to be honest with you, man. I don't know why this is. Only the exception, I'll say Cole's out of Nashville. He's really forthcoming with information. Everybody gets all weird. Like, I was the only guy, if you look at my videos and you go back in time, I was the only guy to ever open up a Buyer 160 and re-rivet it in front of you. No one does that. No one even, I remember when I was looking into doing 160s, I could not find one. I saw some pictures of a Buyer 160 blown, but no one ever showed what it would look inside or how to even take it apart. So when you see me do these, it's just strictly out of like, hey, no one did it for me. But I will give credit to Ulf. do yourself a favor, and go to Hoborec, HOBOREC, like hobo recording. And my friend Ulf from Sweden, he made a video, and I saw it about maybe 5-6 years ago, is how to make a ribbon mic. At that time, I just watched it. I wasn't making ribbon mics, and I didn't even think I was going to do it. But after Ulf explained how he was going to make a ribbon mic, and then he did it, I went immediately to eBay. I bought ribbons, and I started really thinking about making my own ribbon mic, and that was close to 5 years ago. So here I am today doing stuff like this, totally influenced by Ulf. So, and it's actually so cool that I know Ulf now. He's a bud. Whenever he flies into LA, when he's going to NAMM, we go have breakfast at Nick's. He's a fucking badass. And that guy affected my life, and I'll give props. I didn't just wake up one morning and call myself a badass ribbon dude. I actually had to watch a lot of tutorials. So that's why when I do these, I have to assume that someone in the world is going to see this, and maybe they're going to make even mics and ribbons better than I have, and that's cool. But ribbon mics are kind of like feel, like it's vibe. You know, when I corrugate them, a lot of times it's like, how do I feel about it? What does it look like? How does the ribbon feel? When I installed it, right, left, what does it look like? All these things you can only get an idea after you've done a lot of them. So if you are pursuing it and you have to accept failures, when I did that Kohl's the other day, I think I failed 3 times putting it in until I got it right. But for me, I'm going to get it right. I am going to make it happen. I'm not going to accept this microphone. I'm not going to be able to put a ribbon in it. But I have to do it a high quality. People are paying me. I want it to be good. And all right, so I just cut the strip out of there. Hold on 1 second. Whew. Yeah, so I mean, if you are an enthusiast, don't let me tell you like I'm trying to convince you not to do it, or say, oh wow, I'm so fucking good, you can't try it, send me money and I'll do your mic. God bless you, man, but it's gonna cost you money. Everything I have that I make ribbons with, I think it's close to about 10 grand I've spent on tools and just crazy stuff. Like, I get a lot of my stuff from the jewelry district in downtown Los Angeles. Like even these. I mean, these, I think you can probably find these a little bit cheaper. But these are diamond files. Sometimes I'll get a part that just doesn't fit right. And I have to use the files to file down the, not necessarily the transducer, but the, sorry. I just dropped my pliers and I had to reach down to grab them. It just costs money. And if you're going to do it little by little, like even the other day, I went to go do a Bumblebee, and I have a ratchet set, and I have all these crazy ratchet sets. Nothing I had fit that fucking mic. And I had to go to Harbor Freight and go find me a small ratchet set that gave me options that weren't just metric. And so yeah, even now I still have to go out and buy some kind of tools. Like, don't expect you're not gonna spend money. All these little Vice, these are, you know, between 10, 15, 20, all the way up to like a lot, like 60, 70 bucks, $100 for more elaborate ones. I think I bought mine used on eBay. All my little tweezers here are Gundam tool set for people that make models. I end up really liking their tweezers, and they're non-magnetic. They're probably aluminum or something. I really like them. So I can't, all these tweezers that you see me doing stuff with, I gotta have my Gundam kit. Oh shit. See what I mean? Like, you just don't know what this, oh my God. It's stuck like in the middle. Like, are you really gonna like, and I can't, oh my God, this is like, I don't want it to bend. Are you, look at, I mean, can you see that? Like, that's just, are you insane? Like, really? You're gonna hang on to that little piece of paper like that? Like, what? There it goes. Jesus. And I talk to it like it has its mind. Like, really? Come on. You're gonna do this to me right now in front of M. Johnson? Okay, let's see here. Please don't. Well, thank you for the encouragement. The other day, this morning, I was gonna delete my last video because I said fucking fuck a lot, and my wife said, "Why are you cussing?" And I was like, "Because this is why I talk." But I was just like, you know what? Maybe I'm gonna delete it. And I go up to the I go to the page. I'm just about to hit delete, and a comment came in, and someone said, "Hey man, I really love this content. I really, keep on doing this." And it was just that moment where I was really gonna delete the video because I was like, "This is stupid. Why am I even doing this?" And that person was just like, "Oh, by the way, I really dig it," and that meant a lot to me because that's how Ulf affected me. I mean, I'm really glad Ulf, that one day Ulf did the video, he didn't just go, "You know what? I'm not going to make a video on how to make a ribbon mic." And he did. And that affected my life. So the trajectory of, what you do with your life and your time by watching something that influences you, I can't predict what that is. Some people will watch me right now and be like, "Dude, that guy, he's got problems." I do. I'm 59 years old. And I'm still a fucking musician. I'm still making records. Oh my God. Well, here's something I can tell you about if you know music or don't know music. Do you guys know who Mazzy Star is, or Hope Sandoval? She's an amazing Chicana artist out of East LA. My band, Chavez Ravine, has a new single coming out, and she sang on the single. It's unreal. It's not even because it's my own band. Her voice, if you don't know who Mazzy Star is or Hope Sandoval, her voice is godly. I don't know how old she is. She was definitely out in the 80s, but I think she was like 14 or 16 when she first came out. Hope is just incredible. So I'm hoping somewhere down the road you're going to see a video. I'm going to do a tutorial on how I mixed it. And that'll be when I get my good camera, my lavalier, and do all the good stuff. So relax. But when I do that, I'm going to be super proud. Because as an artist and all my life of working with musicians and making songs, Hope Sandoval really, really, really was someone that's like, I would consider having a voice that is iconic as David Bowie or Morrissey. Like, it's so distinctive. No one sounds like her. So I'm pumped. So if you talk about on the level of me being a musician or me being a ribbon mic maker, and you're just like, "What's that guy doing?" Well, you know what though? I really love performing and playing. And I'm hoping that maybe before the year's up, I'll play some shows. But I do have a record to finish. And I'm hoping to finish it with Hope Sandoval. All right, here we come. Here comes Daddy feeding the corrugator. All right. This is what's nerve-wracking. When it touches the side, it kind of gets magnetized. It's hard to fucking move. Jesus, come on, really? I'm telling you, it's like a wild horse. See, it's sticking to the side. What? Oh, are you kidding me? Okay, come on. Just go in. All right, I lucked out on that one. Holy smokes. I'm just like, fucking shit. Come on. Don't fuck up. All right. Holy cows, I did it. All right. Most people don't even know I play guitar. And my own band, here's a funny thing. If you know who these are, my old band Distoritonfelix opened up for Fugazi, who's one of the greatest fucking American punk bands. We've opened up for Blonde Redhead, Trailer Dead, Battles, Gang of Four, X, Shellac. When Shellac first came to Los Angeles, Steve Albini's band, he was kind enough to ask our band to open, and I'm just blown away, totally blown away. Oh, yes, you noticed it. No one has ever noticed that. I have gotten away of the way my cogs are on this corrugating machine, and how I put the foil in there. I don't use paper because I want, like Royer, they don't use paper either. And I don't recommend that initially because usually the cogs that come in these will tear up the foil. So I just happen to grind those cogs down until they don't tear up the foil, but also when it's crimping, it's actually compressing like Royers. So I'm getting two things. I'm getting a compression of the foil, which makes it stronger, and I'm getting the cut the way I like it. So yeah, you're the only one that's ever noticed that, Mr. Johnson. I wish I had a prize for you, but do you got a prize for me? Hello, Topo Chico. Hold on a second. I need a drink. I'm giving away my secrets here, and you busted me, Johnson. Don't start cutting ribbons without paper, because you're gonna go through them. You're gonna ruin the foil. And if you don't have the money, and even when you get the smaller sheets, it's still $40 to $60. I would recommend getting Reynolds wrap and just working with that, or finding alternative things that are kind of like foil and just experiment it with handling. So whenever I do corrugation, you have to stretch it out. I know I always talk about this, but it's kind of like when you get parts made, or let's say you get capsules made for your microphone, once you've crimped it, you have to somehow relax the metal because it's been kind of tweaked and honestly fucked up. So what I need to do now is I need to stretch this mic, because if I don't stretch this ribbon, and if I install it unstretched, I just fell out of my hands. Son of a gun. Hold on. I'm losing it right in front of the camera. Sorry, I'm moving this around trying to... I gotta install this ribbon and I gotta be able to see what I'm doing. Holy cows. Hold on. Let's clear some things out here. Daddy needs room. Yeah, I'm already breaking out in a sweat. I have to turn off all the AC and the fans because you cannot work. All right, so give me a second. Hopefully I don't fail in this. I'm not getting a break here. Hold on. Whew. Foil. The reason I have to stretch it out, which I'm going to do now, I just lost it again, is that the tension of the foil, when the first gust of wind hits it, or the guitar cabinet, or whatever you're using on this, it will stretch out the foil in the transducer. So when you saw those Chinese mics and they're all stretched out, it's because maybe they were never properly tensioned. So when they install the ribbons without tensioning them, that's it. They never go back to their true form. So I'm going to stretch, even though this is thinner than human hair. God, I just lost it again. Hold on. Oh my God, this is like... I told you about practicing physician and practicing law. It's like practicing ribbon mic tech. Okay, so hold on a second. Everybody hold that thought. I'm stretching this. Whew. Don't break it. Come on. Oh, son of a gun. What? You gotta do it again. Hold on. Whew. In the middle. I mean, this is so thin you can do that. Okay, come on. So what I did basically is stretch it out. So when I install it in the ribbon, it's pretty much going to go as far as it's going to go. So as it's stretched out and moves around in the mic, it's not going to get any more than that. If I didn't just do that and I laid it in there, the first time the wind hits it, it's going to expand way too much, the accordion of it, because it's not been stretched out. So that's what I just did now. And that, Mr. Johnson, is some of the not secret, but some of the things that you need to do when you install a ribbon. It's pretty insane that is something of a technology that's been around since the 1930s. Who figured out putting a piece of aluminum between two magnets and connecting it to a transformer would make a mic? I don't know. I don't have that kind of deal. Obviously, with all my bad language, I'm not going to be... Okay, so let's see this. Do I like this? Hold on. A weird weight. I want to put the ribbon on, and I think I found it. Hold that thought. Now we put this in there. This is where you don't breathe. Okay. On this, it's a lot of alcohol. I didn't want to put that much, but I did. Okay, this don't stick. Hold it. Hold that thought. Much. Called it dry up a little bit. I did put a lot on there. See, I just talked and it tweaked again. Hold on. Hold on. That looks better. Way better. This is crooked. Much about this side because I can still tune this. What most importantly, I need to get this side straight. It just came undone. Hold on. Hold on, like, if you're even watching this, you may have some problems. Okay, I need to look at this in the light and see how close I got this. Now, I don't want to jinx myself, but that is pretty goddamn fucking straight in there. I'm just going to say that. But if you saw any of my other videos, like me talking like that, I fucking screwed up. Hold on. I just ripped it up, but that's on purpose. So this is the foil that I use. So it had good foil in it. It feels just like mine. Some mics don't have that. Some mics have weird, I don't know what that is. It's like a plastic infused foil or something. Okay, I'm gonna take a deep breath here because, see, it relaxed right there. From me just talking, the alcohol kind of dried up and it just kind of went in a way I didn't want it to go. Hold on. Like that. One more time. This is 91%, which is fine. When I do coals, I use 99. With coals, I got one shot to put it on. When I use this, there's a little bit of wiggle room for me to work. And I need that wiggle room of time to work on it with a little bit of that not being pure. But when I work with coals, I got one shot to put it in. I want it to stick and to be done. It's an R40 ribbon mic. It's a super cheap budget mic you can find. I do upgrades where you send it to my P.O. box in the description. And I make these mics that cost 40 bucks. After my upgrade, which is $250 each mic, I cover shipping and insurance and the cost of the mic and the cost of the upgrade. I send it to you, and then you have a mic that sounds like a $700 to $1,200 mic. And the only reason I give you that variable, because it depends. RD4s are about $1,300, $1,400. On the used market, it's about $900. And also Coles and N8s and N22s, those are still on the used market, $700, $800, $900. Brand new, probably $11, $12, $13. So it just depends. I'm just trying to hit the mark. Don't hold me to it. I'm an enthusiast. I'm doing this because I love doing this. But I won't be doing this too much longer because I'm making my own ribbon mic. I definitely hope that people take advantage to get some of these cheap mics, or I inspire you to do it yourself. But you got to be patient, and you got to understand there's going to be failures going to a lot of ribbon mics. I've had some heartbreaks of having a mic done, and I have a screwdriver. I'm about to put the last screw in, and the magnetic force grabs the screwdriver. It goes right through the ribbon. And that was just like, oh my God. And you just have to like recoup. And I'm doing this because I love it. And that's just part of the game. Okay. Are the same. There is a plastic plate over here which isolates the positive. That's the little that little copper thing is where and then the other side is going to be a brass plate. And so the negative, this little clip is going to be the negative because it goes into that screw, which goes in the transducer. This all becomes negative. You can't see it, but that red wire that comes in, it's only going to the isolated plastic here. That is positive. So every transformer is going to have a positive and a negative. The negative is coming around the transducer, and the positive is going through the middle one right here. Hold on. How if I could just spin some foil? I mean, alcohol in this. Hold on. This is not good. It's only because I don't want these screens to have the alcohol, because when I install them, they're going to stick to everything. Hold on. Hold that thought. Shit. COVID's right. Clamp, which is what it came in. I'm going to bring it over and then drop it into the hole. Easier said than done. Now when I tighten this down, I can't go all the way because I still need a little bit of wiggle room. If I put this completely down tight, it could bend the plastic bracket so it doesn't make good contact with the ribbon. But I still need to... Get out of my way, buddy. I still have to put in the other screw, and I got to make sure that once I've done that, the ribbon is still remaining straight. Repeat, I've got to take this off and do it again. Okay, let's do the next one. I haven't looked if this ribbon's straight or not. It's going to break my heart if it's not going to be straight. And I'm going to say right now, there is a 10% chance right now that maybe it's going to get fucked up. I don't know what's going on here. It's late for me. I'm trying to get a lot done. I don't want to screw this up for everyone that's watching this. Hold on. I gotta fill that hole that it goes into. It's not going anywhere. It's a bitch. Come on. Holy poly. Okay. That's not good. Fuck, why did I say that? Okay, I see you. You're there. Let me get another screw. I think that screw didn't like me. This screw looks way better. This screw said, pick me up, put me in in the game. I'm ready. Okay, let's see. This motherfucker gonna go in. Oh, come on, really? Give me any love. Why am I not? Put that too tight. I had a feeling something in my spider senses said this is not good. Okay, loosen that enough. Because if it's too tight, that little wiggle room I needed this bracket to move forward or back to get this in there is not there anymore. So went in. Thank you. Thank you, ribbon guys. All right, here we go. Sorry, I'm gonna get this a little bit, and I need to see what I'm doing. Okay, I'm gonna put this in there. I don't want the screwdriver to fly into the ribs. I'm holding it tight. Oh shit. Is there a screwdriver? On, really? My little vice thing just said, oh, I'm going to bow right now at the wrong time. Okay, so now I'm tightening this one just tight enough to my light just flew off. I knew it. I told you. My spider senses detected something was going to happen. Thank God that didn't fall into the mic. Hold on. So this is what I have, this little light. So I have a big light that comes in over the top. This one just comes in off the side. I love this little light, but it's just a son of a bitch to clamp on up here. There it is. It's back in action. Whew. I just went whoo, and the ribbon moved. Son of a bitch. Okay, let me check it in the light to make sure that at least that bracket's straight. Oh, good. That's really good. Okay, so I lucked out. In doing that, this is crooked now, but it could be from the other side coming undone, and I will know right now. If I can't get the tension right, because it looked like it just slipped, I will have to undo those, what you just saw me undo. I'll have to undo them again, but we'll see. Okay, so I'm going to tighten these, and then I'm going to, as you would say, like this right now. I just feel like it was like, I don't know. We'll see. Sense again. I don't know what's going on here. All right, so I'm going to tilt this down because I want the alcohol now to run down this way because I don't want it to go up into the ribbon. And nicely, and I need to pull this straight again. Okay, why do I feel like this is not straight? Hold on. This is going off here. Hold on. You really, really have to do this with not a camera in front of your face, but I know I'll get it right. It's a little bit more difficult. Let me check it, make sure that it's straight. No. Son of a gun. It's too much to the right, which is this way. Round. Okay. Get it together. It down because I get serious. I need to get this right. this is not just for me for fun. Someone is asking me to make sure this kicks ass, and I gotta double check it. Let me check it again. In the light. Oh, that was too much to the left. Hold it now, hold it now. As the Beast Boys would say. Hold on. Thing I can do and talk while I'm doing this, but this is just nerve-wracking. I've already broken out in a sweat. I'm completely drenched. Had to turn off all the ACs and the fans so I could not have the ribbons blow away. And it really does get hot in here. Because if you make a studio, it's kind of airtight. Oh, man, really? Hold on. I just want to do something really quick to make sure. To the left. Perfect. Oh my God, thank you, Ribbon Gods. That is right down the middle. So once again, one and done. But, fair warned, I got one more bracket, and I have had screwdrivers. I'm not even doing this to be suspenseful. I'm just kind of preempting you that if I mess this up, it is strictly part of the game. There's no one that is 100% never fucks up a ribbon. No one. Even the best. One of the best in the United States. Say, but there are not too many people I know that can do Buyer 160s, 130s, 500s, Buyer 260s, all the RCA mics, and then you add Coles. Oh shit. I gotta put that on the ground. You are a bad boy, Screw. You are just gonna jump out and fly in my fucking work. Don't be like Superman and fly into the middle of my work. Like, if someone asks what that is, a ribbon mic is 2 magnets, a piece of foil, and a transfer. You saw that just go, oh, snap. That is what makes sound. Frank Sinatra would sing into a ribbon mic, that would move, and that would be his voice. So it's a lost art. It really is. I don't want to be a repair shop guy. I've invested in parts to repair ribbons I love, and I do these for my producer friends. But there are people that are really, really experts, where they have screws, bolts, transformers, wires, old stock, new stock. And I love refurbishing modern mics. And because of me wanting to become really good at this, I've dived into doing all the vintage mics too. But I have no desire to be the buyer repair guy for the United States or the Kohl's repair guy for the United States. Even though Wes Dooley over at AEA, I did talk to him for a quick moment. He asked me if I wanted to work for him. And I said, yeah. No, actually I said, I never really got back to him. It was one of his last days before he left the company, or he sold it. I think Julie, the new owner, is an amazing woman. And I really wish her all the success with her company. And I offered to help them out on a few things that I noticed, but she never took me up on it. But it's okay. I'm making my own mic anyways. And if I'm going to walk the walk and talk the talk, I'm going to do it with my own mic. Okay, let's check this now. Straight as an arrow. Straight as a fucking arrow. How many F's is that? Does anybody know? Okay, so let me get some questions because I just finished the ribbon. That looks pretty straight. I like it. I'm standing up now looking at the camera. Okay, let me just see some questions that people had, because I do this because I love it. Okay, let me go back a little bit. Let's see. Mr. Johnson says, please don't stop doing it. Thank you. Shannon, it's always great if you're there. Thank you so much, Mr. Johnson. The prize will be if I send you my transformer. Would you like it? I would definitely like to try that. Yeah, it was a Telefunken engineers in the 1920s. Now, if you go back maybe about 6 months, I did a ribbon. I took apart one of the oldest Telefunken ribbon mics from the 1920s and 30s. I actually did a video, so I can say that too. People may want to say, Manny, what have you done? The oldest ribbon mic on earth. Who invented ribbons? I think he just answered, I think probably Telefunken. Mr. Manny, I love how these videos are. You inspire me. That's awesome. What's that? Vanden Art says it's a ribbon mic. And then Sepultry Drum says Jesus loves you. I hope so, because if he has anything to do with the ribbon mics and gods and overseeing this, I feel his guidance. I don't know what that is. Okay, so what I want to do now is I want to take a drink of Topo Chico. You can hit me in the below the description things. You could buy me a Topo Chico, a coffee. I'm not getting rich off this. But it does help me continue to make these videos and be excited to come in on my Saturday night and share something that hopefully someone would be inspired or like it. This is not a get rich. I think there's better videos I could have made that could be more clickbait and more like, try to get some money. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that my handiwork on these screws are tight, which I'm just going to double check. And I have ruined plenty of a mic by going in like this, and then the screwdriver flies out and tears the ribbon. But I must do this because I'm going to be sending this in the mail to Texas, and it needs to be doable that this is not going to come undone. Oh, shit. Holy cows. So if you remember what this mic looked like when I started, it definitely didn't look like that. That is proper. Let me see how much. That looks good. So this is going to sound killer. High quality ribbon, cut really great against the magnets. And this is now a same cut you would get in a R84, a Royer, N22, even though those are, I think it's just, well, I don't want to talk about that, but N22, N8, small differences in the how the sound hits the ribbon, but Royer, and if you notice, which Johnson did, I don't corrugate these with paper, which is why when I say I think I feel like I corrugate these closer to a Royer, and it's because I do. Royer influenced me on how I make my ribbons, except I don't think my mics sound like Royers. So it's kind of like putting the toughness of, like Royer mics, if you don't know, are considered some of the strongest mics they can put up on a guitar cab and they don't blow. So they're, not agility, but I guess the endurance or how they work, they just don't break that easy. So I think the ribbons I make are as long lasting as possibly Royers. I'll make that claim. Okay, so I need to put this back together, and I'm almost done here. We got my screens. We need, oh my, so this is just straight up packing tape. But when I get these mics from China, that's what they use. And come to find out, it's pretty darn good. Sticks really good to metal. And I know if I install it with this, and you saw me take it off the mic, it'll just last a long time. So I need this tape because I'm going to be putting back on the metal screens. I don't think these metal screens have anything to do with sound. I think they keep the ribbon inside the transducer. This is the transducer. That's the ribbons. That's the magnets. If you saw when I first got it, the ribbons were kind of sagging, kind of like if you imagine some, like a hammock. it was hanging out below the magnets. And that's a no-no, because the magnets has a lot to do with the sound. And you want the ribbon to be in the center of the magnets. But that's not true technically, because Royer, I want to say they have a patent that the ribbon sits closer to the top. So it's not fully in the middle. So if you have a Royer microphone and you sing in the front, it sounds bassy and big. If you flip it around, it's a little bit more high end, and they recommend that for vocals. And that's why. The ribbon is not in the center, and it's patented, and that's just the way they do it. Is that good? Is that bad? That's the way to do it. I don't own any Royer mics. I've never had a Royer mic. I don't know if I would buy a Royer mic, but I have repaired ribbons in them. And I have a respect for Royer on their, every part on a Royer has a serial number. And when they make their microphones, they make them in small batches of 50. So if you get your screens and everything powder coated and painted, whatever they're doing, and the magnets come in, if there's something wrong in that batch, they could then stop it within 50 and correct whatever's happened. If a part's too small, something failed, maybe the transformer, I don't know. I'm not saying that anything's failed in Royers. I'm just saying, like, that's how they go about their business. And for me, I kind of like that. Now, MXL, I think they'll probably make hundreds and hundreds and hundreds per day, because they can. But if something was off in the design or something in the whatever, I don't know if they would even change it, because I think the people that buy these R40s and R144s are getting into recording. They want to experience what a ribbon mic's like, and MXL R40s and R144s, they make it possible so you don't have to spend $1,400 to get cool ribbon mic sound. And I love ribbon mic sound. Are you kidding me? So I'm putting this tape back where it was, almost in the same way that it came to me. It's a little bit tricky, but I just want it to be right. Oh, come on. Easier said than done. These are 2-inch strips that I've already cut, and I measured them because the magnets are 2-inch. Holy cows. I don't know why it has been so nerve-wracking the last few days to do this live. Usually I'd be here alone and just talking to myself, dropping F-bombs, and then if I failed, I would just grab some Topo Chico, sit on the couch, reflect on life, and then get back into it and fix it. So the difference between my ribbons and Royers, and I like fingerprints, maybe Royers because of their corrugator and because they actually measure their ribbon in weight when they make them. I will just say, because I don't do that, already out the gate, you're gonna probably see more consistency in what they do. A lot of people use different mics, and these are all different sizes, transducers. How do they feel? How do they look? A lot of the times when I work on these mics, it's all about just feel and how do I feel like the ribbon looks inside the transducer when I blow on it. What does it look like? So I'm just kind of going off hunches and feelings that I like, but they're not really measured they can't really be measured. When people say, when I tell someone I can get close to matching ribbons, if the mic is made exactly the same, you have a closer chance to matching the ribbon. But I've had a bunch of Buyer 160s, and you got blondes, redheads, brunettes, balloons. They're all, if you have 5 Buyer mics, they for some reason all sound a little different. I've done some testings with one, and some of them had massive low ends, some of them didn't. Maybe it comes down to the ribbon. So inconsistency or consistency in ribbons I think is really difficult because they're human. You're touching them, you're cutting them. The only ones I say that will be different, I think CAD laser cuts them, and I think a machine installs them. So if that's the case, um, then they can make ribbons that are consistent. I think my style is in the spirit, excuse me, in the spirit of Royer. Holy shit, I just yawned. I get up every day at 6 in the morning. Right now it's about 11 at night. I'll usually rock bed about maybe 12 or 1 in the morning, so I'm up for it, but my brain is a little bit exhausted. This really took a lot out of me. If you can tell, I kind of like, it's kind of like a fighter. Like the first 3 rounds, I'm just kicking ass. And then the fourth and the fifth, I'm like, I'm looking up at the clock. Get me out of here, man. Am I going to win? And I did. This is a success. I love it. These are some of my favorite microphones to work on. They're really simple technically in design, really influential to me to learn how to work on ribbon mics from these microphones. And like I said, it makes it possible for people that are on budgets to buy these mics for between 30, 50, 60, 70, up to $100. You can either get them and experiment and install your own ribbons in these and just know what it's about. If you cut a ribbon and you can get it really good in this, then you don't need to talk to me about making it better. But if you want to, I recommend you looking in the descriptions I have there, contacting me, get my P.O. box and all my information. It's $250 a microphone, and that covers me, if it's in the US, shipping it back to you for free, covering the insurance of the actual mic, covering the insurance of the actual upgrade, and yeah, that's it. That's the Manny plan. And like I said, $250, you could go like, well, that's a lot. $250. I'm buying the mic for 50 or 100. Let's say $100 you buy the mic. And you're into me like 350 and you're like, that's Manny. What are you doing? You trying to do a Ponzi scheme here? What are you doing? Well, then I'll tell you this. There's not another mic in the market that'll be as amazing as this one being upgraded that you can buy. Because you can only buy a fat head. That's about 350 to 500. But I guarantee you the fathead will still have a ribbon that's malnourished inside, and you still got to change it. So if you buy a fathead for $350, and then you pay me $250 to change the ribbon in that, and let's say you're like, oh, $250 and $350, man, you're breaking the bank here. There still is not a ribbon on the market under $700 unless it's used that's going to have anything close to the sound that we're getting for that mic and the price. And then you get into 800, 900, 1,000. Even if you get a buyer mic and you find it for $400 on eBay, I can't tell you that the condition of the ribbon is going to be okay, and you may have to get that done again. But ribbon mics are interesting because if you get them used, they could be wasted. And even though they go, sounded good the last time I checked it, well, guess what? You knew the last time you checked it, there was distortion, and that's why you're selling the ribbon mic. And unless you got ATCs or really proper studio, you would never be able to hear it unless you start recording violins or cello, and you hear your ribbon kind of crack in the bottom and the low end. Then you know you bought a mic that someone sold that was broken. And their disclaimer is, hey, it's a ribbon mic, you know, like tomato, tomato. Sometimes it goes, sometimes they don't. But anyways, ribbon mics are scary. At one time they were to me too. But now that I know about them, I'm pretty fearless with repairing them. So buyer 160s, 230s, 500s, RCAs, 44s, 77s. But I will say this, maybe in the RCAs, if you know there's some transformer issues and it looks like there's some stuff to do, and there's other people that are way better than that to me. But if you have a great RCA mic that's still affordable, is a 74B Junior. It looks like the big 44s. It's called a Junior. It's not the same transducer, but I can make those sound awesome. And they're still affordable. They're under $1,000. Maybe you can bust one out for $500-600. RCA 74Bs or 74 Juniors are incredible. Holy cows, I did it. Oh, I'm not even lying. I'm like at 104 minutes. Is that fucking correct? Jesus. That's almost 2 hours. Whoever has watched this, I am sorry. I'm sorry that you had to hear me cuss. I'm still not done yet. John, bitch, what do I got to do now? What do I need to do to this microphone to make it legit? Oi. OGMC, my company. Put the Manny sticker on it. OGMC is not only a rapper term, but it stands for Original GravityWave Microphone Company, which is my company. And that's what it is. Okay. Whew. Okay, before I see if I can see any messages, anybody saying anything that they would need to be answered, because when I save this, for some reason, all these questions, I can't find them again. Transformers, no, we saw that one. Okay. Hey everyone, have a wonderful time. If you did stick around with me, you can buy me a Topo Chico under the description and the thank yous. I know I always say that, but hey, I like Topo Chicos. And if you're interested in getting R40 and R144 from, if you get these from Sweetwater right now, they're like 99 bucks. Contact me and I'll give you my P.O. box because they ship for free in the U.S. You can ship one for me for free from Sweetwater, buy it, and then I'll upgrade it. My upgrade is $250, and get out my information, and when I upgrade it, I will ship it back to you for free in the US, and I will pay for the cost of the mic and the insurance of the upgrade, so you're fully covered. And that's all within that $250 price. If you live in Europe, Canada, or somewhere a little bit farther, $70 to $80. If you add on the top, I'll ship it out to you and make the difference up. But you usually have to do 2 mics, and I'll do that. If it's one, it may not be worth it. Whew. Hey everyone. Let's see, last message. Anyone else there? Buenas noches. Luke, you're a badass. Luke, if anybody knows Luke, if that's the same Luke in Honolulu, he is a wicked musician and a wicked artist. Check up his band called the Jump Offs, and he has a new band. I don't actually know what they are, but anyways, that's it. I'm out. Thank you guys. That was 107 minutes of mayhem, a lot of F-bombs, some stories of Albini, Kim Deal, and I need to get to bed. I need to get home safely, and I have to watch out, and I carry my passport in my jacket now. That'll be for another day, that subject of living in Los Angeles. Adios, everyone.